Hi everybody, it's Dr. Jones. I want to make you a video. I'm not going to use the words quick video because then I end up lying because my video is usually 4 or 5 minutes long. But I do want to chime in and give you a little bit of feedback. I know a lot of you are working right now on or have just submitted that part 1 of your final, which is really just idea generation. And I think it's really interesting. It kind of goes into that context of creativity and creativity in the classroom. And I have talked to coworkers about this part of the project, and I've tried to put really detailed instructions out there with regard to this part 1. And it's really, really difficult to get teachers or adults, I really should say adults, not teachers, adults, and I even think young adults, that freedom to create, the freedom to go crazy, the freedom to generate and not judge your ideas. And so I have had a real struggle with this assignment, and that people like to create very concrete things. They don't like to just go crazy, let ideas flow because of fear of how would I make this happen? Is this even logical? Is it reasonable? All kinds of contextual things where we say, let's just map it out how we know it will work instead of getting crazy and mapping it out all over the place. So I'm really interested to dig into your assignments. I've seen a couple of them. I'm on the community actually this morning looking through a few of them. So I wanted to make you a quick video. The other thing is I've talked to some coworkers about idea generation and how my brain works. And so maybe this is reflectively, like I know Tim, he commented, I've never done a mind map. I've never done this type of thing. Well, in K-12, we do a lot of brainstorming, but everybody brainstorms differently. And so that's why one of the pieces that I gave you in the directions were you don't have to use a tech tool. I mean, I love tech tools for different reasons. If I was going to map out a process, I may use a tech tool. But if I'm going to just brainstorm and get my ideas out there, I'm probably going to be like on a whiteboard or using a piece of paper or maybe a bar napkin, whatever that looks like, to just get my ideas out there and get them to flowing. And the one thing we know about idea generation is we can't judge it. We can't judge whether this would work, whether it wouldn't work. Is this logical? Is it sensical? Does this fit into my curriculum? Are my students going to like it? If we're judging the ideas, we're not really letting ideas flow because we're setting a gap there. And we're going to stop our ideas because we're thinking about all those things that adults think of. Instead of asking a 5-year-old 5 ways to use a paperclip, they would have 1,000 ways. And I think adults, they would think of a couple ways. And what it tells me is we have a stagnant creativity flow. And so this idea is to get these thoughts out there and not judge them as we do them. So if you used a piece of paper and you scanned it in, that is completely fine. The one thing I want to go ahead and tell you about how this process works with the 3 parts of the final is you will have made a Google document and you put this part 1 in it. For part 2 and 3, which are the final, the actual project and the student example is part 3, you're just going to add to that Google Doc. You don't have to create a new one. You're just going to have all 3 parts, part 1, 2, and 3. I have a template out there actually for you to kind of guide you through the process, and that's also on that homework sheet. There's a link to a Google Doc that actually outlines exactly what you should have in parts 2 and 3. And then you'll just repost this Google Doc that you just made for this week. You're just going to repost it for the final, and then you won't have to recreate a second Google Doc. It's already out there. So I wanted to go ahead and kind of get that out there because I always have that as a question. So I'm anxious to dive in and see what you have out there for idea generation. And if we do something in this class over the next couple weeks and that first idea goes away and you come up with something new, that's completely fine. You don't have to stick to your original plan. The idea of this is to get your juices flowing, to get yourself out there into thinking, what can I do that's different? How can I incorporate media literacy into what I'm doing and incorporate something new or different for my students? So that was the purpose of this. If you have questions, please post it below and I'm happy to answer those. And with that being said, I hope that you all have a wonderful rest of your week. Take care. Bye.